I am so excited to be here with everyone representing Welcome Home Collective, as Danielle mentioned. My name is Samantha Carpino, and I am here with Welcome Home Collective, and I am the current Lululemon ambassador for Hamilton. So I'm here to connect community to really bring you a little bit of space and mindfulness through both your mind, your body, and your spirit tonight. And if you are interested in following along with a playlist, you can find it either in the chat box below on Apple Music or Spotify, whichever platform you stream with. And if you are catching the replay, you can find the playlists on Apple or Spotify under Samantha underscore Carpino, and it's called Shift and Connect. So once you've had the chance to tune in, it's not mandatory, it is totally optional. Music enhances your practice. So if you would like to follow along, go ahead, pull up your playlist, and then let's all count down from 3, 2, 1, and let's hit play together so we're all on the same page. I would like to welcome you to your practice. If you have yoga blocks, they will be handy in your practice. If you have a pillow or a blanket, also great props, a bolster, a yoga mat, although it's not totally necessary. I personally love having my yoga mat because I know when I step onto it, I am entering into my own sacred space. So within these 4 corners of my mat, this is time dedicated to just myself, my body, my mind, and my spirit. So let's get started today in a seated position, just to keep you awake through the meditation and visualization. So you can find yourself in a cross-legged seat. If it feels more comfortable for you to sit with your legs nice and wide, my only invitation to you is that you feel the bony bits of your pelvis. You feel connected and centered on in your body on your mat. If you are feeling a little bit tighter in the hips, a block or a blanket underneath your bottom to prop up the hips is going to give you a little bit of relief here, which is what we all come to our yoga mat for, is just that little bit of relief. So just make sure you're comfortable. Fluff your nest, make sure you're cozy inside of it. And then when you're ready, you can place your hands down on your legs. We'll do palms face down to begin. And then I invite you to gently close your eyes. It's not necessary, but at this moment in time, we will not be absorbing anything that you need to see or take in with the eyes. Instead, the invitation is to open up the ears and your hearts to receive. So once you're comfortable and the eyes are softly closed or gaze is down towards the earth, we're just going to take a few grounding breaths. So we're going to start by breathing in and out through the nose. Just take 3 breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Let the exhales be a little bit longer than your inhales. Good. And at the end of your 3rd breath, just come back to your basal breathing, to your natural rhythmic pattern and flow. And just feel as this breath effortlessly moves through your body. If at any point you need to open up the mouth to let the exhale escape, go ahead and just listen to the body. And so tonight we'll be focusing on our diaphragm. It's one of our primary breathing muscles next to the lungs. We are going to focus on the intercostal muscles, which are found in between each rib. We are going to focus on the diaphragmatic arteries and veins, which just means the veins and the arteries that run through the diaphragm are going to be stimulated, and we're going to connect with them this evening. We're going to touch base with the lower ribs. And then, of course, we'll get in touch with the sternum because behind the sternum, this is where the heart lives. So, inside the body, we're going to start to do a body scan. So, with the eyes softly closed, start at the top of your head, the very top of the skull. And then, as you inhale and exhale here, I want you to just move through the body like an x ray would move through your body, focusing on certain points and practices throughout the physical self. Maybe you need to soften the shoulders or relax the muscles in the face. Maybe you're engaging the core too tightly, so you can maybe bring a bit of ease to the belly and the hips and the lower back. As you scan the body, notice if there's any areas of tension or dis-ease in the body. And rather than fixating on these places, rather than holding on to the energy that you feel in these places, my invitation is for you to just acknowledge what you notice. No attachment, no connection. And this is a tall order. We are transiting through a Cancer zodiac moon. And when we travel and traverse through the Cancer moons, we feel things deeply. We form deep attachments, especially when it comes to our home, our physical dwelling, and as well as the home where our soul resides, this physical vessel that we are using in this lifetime, this meat suit that you walk around in. So as best you can, continuing the body scan all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. Once you get to the bottoms of the feet, work your way back up and then see if anything else sticks out to you. See if there's any changes. Again, doing this very objectively, not allowing the self to attach to any one particular feeling, any one particular tension. Become the observer. Beautiful. Once you make it back up to the top of the head, bring a little bit of a tilt of the chin down towards the chest, relaxing the muscles in the back of the spine and the neck. Even bringing a little bit of length to the spine here. And I want you to bring your attention down to the base of the spine, where your sacrum resides. This beautiful triangular bone right above your tailbone. It's this wonderful sacred space full of energy and wisdom as it resides in tandem with the womb space. This entire space here can hold tension. So let's take a few breaths just into this band, this area around your hips and your lower back. I want you to imagine your breath as you breathe in, the belly pushes out the sides of the body and the back of your body, inflating like a balloon. And then on the exhale, everything comes back into the center of your being, into the spine. Do that a few more times, breathing into this band of space in your physical body. And then exhaling to let it go. One more time here. And then exhaling to let go. Come back to your natural rhythmic breath. And then bring your awareness and attention to the belly button, all the way up to the lower ribs. And this band of energy here around the center of your torso. Let's feel this space expand with the breath, inflating like a balloon with each inhale, and then deflating like a balloon on the exhale. Good. 2 more times on your own in the center of your torso. Beautiful. With your next round of 3 breaths, you're moving up into the upper chest, the heart, the back of the heart, the shoulders and the arms, taking 3 breaths into this space of the body. Beautiful. After that third round of breath, you're going to come up into the neck and into the head, all one area, all together. 3 breaths. We have breathing muscles all the way from our belly in through our ribs, in through the chest, and even into our neck. So it's so important to spend some time here grounding and centering, releasing any tension and dis-ease in the body. Good. And now we've completed the bands of the body. So coming back down to the lower spine, we're going to take an inhale from the lower spine all the way up on a vertical line to the top of the skull. And then on your exhale, you're going to move the breath back down the spine, thinking of it like an elevator. Breathing in, elevator goes up the spine, each one of those 33 floors, into the penthouse, which is the mind. And then on the exhale, the elevator lowers all the way back down to the ground floor. If you don't like elevators, take the stairs or choose any other method or mode of transportation up the spine and down the spine one more time on your own. Beautiful. This time we're going to breathe in from the base of the spine all the way up. And then as we exhale, breath is going to leave the crown of the head, surround your whole body, and then move back in through the base of the spine, all the way up with the inhale. Exhale, breath leaves the body, moving around you, surrounding your being. And then re entering at the pelvic floor, you inhale, breath moving up the spine. Exhale, breath moving out and around the body, creating a nice protection, a beautiful bubble around the physical body, creating the Merkaba, your vehicle here, into the spiritual realm through your yoga practice. One more time in this way, breathing from the base to the crown, feeling the breath leave the body to surround you, to then re enter at the base of the spine, the pelvic floor. Next time you inhale, let's take the breath all the way up to the top, crown of the head, and then just let the breath leave you here. So we stay at the crown of the head. Now, this time as we inhale, we're going to move down the spine. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And then as you exhale, breath will leave the pelvic floor, escaping the body to surround you, coming back in through the crown of the head, down through the spine, out the pelvic floor to surround you and re-enter in through the crown of the head. Follow your breath like this 3 more times on your own, grounding, protecting, centering. After your final round, after your 5th round, we're going to come back just to natural basal breaths, in and out through the nose. And we're going to start to connect to our Ujjayi breath. So our Ujjayi breath creates heat from the inside out. Again, I invite you to keep your eyes closed so we can really feel this in the body. So you're going to take the tip of your tongue and bring it to the roof of your mouth where your teeth and the roof of your mouth meet. And then as you inhale, you're going to feel this warm air being pulled up into the back of the throat. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine like you're fogging up a window or a mirror to draw a beautiful heart on, but we're not going to open the mouth. So it's going to be like you're fogging the mirror, but the mouth is going to stay closed. We inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Keep breathing in this way, warming up our physical body, getting the muscles ready for movement, ready for practice. Now you have the option to keep this breath with you your whole practice if you're comfortable. If it's way too brand new for you, we can come back, revisit it later. But know that you can always come back to this breath to keep you warm, to keep you invigorated from the inside out. If you're not sticking with the Ujjayi breath, I do encourage you to keep breathing in and out through your nose. All right, let's slowly just begin to roll the shoulders backwards. Let the movement become a little bit bigger. Let the elbows come into this movement. So all the way from your shoulders down the upper arm bones to the elbows. Good. And now let the whole arm kind of flow into it down to your fingertips, like you're getting ready to fly, to flap your wings. Beautiful. Next time you roll the shoulders back, keep them there. Take an inhale to reach the arms all the way up to the sky, palms touch. Exhale, take your hands into your heart. Again, inhale, reach out and up. Maybe bring the head up to look at the hands if the eyes are now open, following the hands all the way down through to your heart, down into your lap. And then inhale, reach out. Exhale, connect, bring it down. Good. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one like this. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's remove any props we have supporting us in our practice here. And let's just open up the right leg. And once we open up the right leg, we're just going to keep that left foot into the right thigh. And we're going to open up diagonally. So we're going to come out from the hip rather than straight forward. Take the hands down in front of you. Take a big inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, I want you to think about drawing ribs and core together. It's creating this nice compact structure to support your spine. Breathe in once again, and then exhale. Start to lean forward with the heart. And then once you feel like you've reached your limit, you're going to pause, hold, and breathe for 3 breaths. Noticing where in the body you're feeling the stretch. We're grounding down through the right heel, we're grounding through the right hip and the left knee, and both of the sit bones. So those are our anchor points here. Good. After your 3rd breath, you'll start to walk your hands back towards the body. Take your right hand to the inside of the right leg and then bring your left hand to your heart. Good. From here, we're going to spin the heart open to that left knee and then take a big inhale, reach the left arm all the way out, up and overhead. Beautiful stretch for those intercostal muscles. The zodiac sign of Cancer is what rules over these muscles. These intercostals relate to the diaphragm, our lungs. If we can stretch these muscles in between the ribs, then that means our lungs are going to have more space to expand and contract, bringing us a greater sense of balance and making us feel more centered. Good. Now take that left hand, reach it all the way up and back behind your left hip. Sweep yourself forward, coming onto that left knee and right foot into your gatekeeper's pose. A nice, beautiful, exalted variation here, starting to extend the spine and the hips, opening up the body. One more big breath. Exhale, bring it all down. Beautiful. Land with grace. And let's change sides. This time, left leg opens, right foot comes in. And draw the toes back, ground down through the heel, through the left hip, the right hip, and the right knee. Take your hands down in front of you. Knit the spine with your next exhale, giving it its support. And then inhale, start to walk forward ever so gently, being really kind to your body here. And imagining that you can send your breath to spaces that need release in the body. Good. Next exhale, start to walk your hands back towards the body. Take your left hand to the inside of left leg, right hand to your heart this time. Open up your heart to the right knee. Sweep that right arm open, palm up, and then reach up and overhead, coming into a beautiful side bend. The spine loves this kind of movement. It keeps us healthy for a really long time. It adds years to our life rather than taking them away. Maybe consider turning the corners of your mouth up and adding a nice juicy smile to your yoga practice. And then with your next inhale, bring that right hand all the way up, back behind the right hip, and then sweep yourself up into your gatekeeper's pose, opening up the whole body, feeling this gentle expansion. Amazing. On your next exhale, bring the body down, and then let's open up both legs. Last floor stretch before we change positions. Hands come to the inside. Both heels are grounded all the way up into the hips. Breathe in and then exhale. Start to walk yourself forward, melting down as far as you are able to. Again, maybe inviting that smile onto your face to bring some ease into your body. It takes way less muscles to smile than it does to frown, in case that's what you're feeling right now. So try to trick the mind, friends. Good. Bring that joy all the way in, body, mind, spirit. One more big breath here. Good. And then walk your hands all the way back. Let's take the soles of the feet together. Hands come around, interlace your fingers. Hands come around your toes like a little basket. Lengthen through your spine. Knit those ribs together. Draw in the core. Breathe in. Exhale. Lead with your heart, leaning forward. Just a different variation of where we just were. Maybe a little bit more ease in the body, sending some love to our inner legs. Amazing. Next, exhale. Bring yourself up. Take the knees together, close them up like a book. Bring your hands behind your hips and just let the legs sway from left to right. Thank your body so far for moving you in this way, for allowing you to connect. And then when you're ready, let's transition into a tabletop position, meeting on all fours. Good. Once you come into your tabletop position, I'd like you to spread the fingers nice and wide. And then for the back of the body, for your feet, it's up to you. If you'd like to tuck all 10 of your toes under, you have this option. It might feel really good on your knees. If it is too much on your knees, you can always roll your mat, give yourself a little extra cushion. And then the other option is to untuck the toes and press into the tops of the feet, stretching out all of these beautiful muscles here in the front of the ankle. So yogi's choice, get settled, get comfortable. We're going to be here for a little bit. If you have anything going on with your wrists, my invitation for you here will be to roll up your mat and then give yourself a little bit of a cushion, okay? So just know you have options to tend to your body. All right, so from our tabletop position, we're going to bend the left elbow, keep the right arm straight, and then we're going to drop the left shoulder. Look to your right. I'm just taking some tension off of that lumbar spine and a far lower back, adding a nice gentle twist into our tabletop. And then use both hands to press you back up to center, and then bend the right elbow, keeping the left arm straight, looking to the left. Nice big breaths here. The breath tells the body it's okay to relax, to release. Good, and then coming back to center, we'll move through our cat-cows. So let's just take one breath in, one breath out here. And then with your next inhale, let's lower the belly, lift the heart and the gaze forward, and then exhale, round the back. Drop your head. Take an inhale, lower the belly, the ribs, the chest, and let the gaze come forward. And then on the exhale, round through the lower back, middle back, upper back, and then drop your head. Good. Take an inhale, belly down, chest down, gaze up. And then exhale, lower back, middle back, upper back, head. Good. Let's do 3 more just like this. Last one. Beautiful job. Come back to a nice neutral spine. And this time we're going to take an inhale, drop the belly down, and then move your ribs over to the right. Round through your cat back where we just were, ribs over to the left, belly down. Now, if you have to bend those elbows, keeping one arm straight, the other arm bent, go ahead, listen to the body, and continue these lateral cat-cows, this beautiful movement for the spine. 3 more times in this direction, moving to the right. So it's like we're tracing a big circle with our ribs. Really nice. Yo, gaze, let's do one more round. And then when your belly comes down into your cow pose, pause. And then let's switch directions over to the left, around through cat back, to the right, and down. Amazing. Let's do 3 more on this side. Last one. Beautiful. Come back to a nice neutral position. Let's give the wrists a little bit of a break. We're going to reach both of the hands forward and then keep the hips over the knees and then start to melt the heart down towards your mat. Nice puppy dog pose, getting our spine ready for any other deeper back bends to come. This is also a really nice stretch for our pec muscles. They insert in our armpits. So if you're feeling a stretch there, those are your pecs. See here if you can lift up the forearms ever so slightly, enough that you could slide a piece of paper underneath. Good. Take one more breath, maybe melting your heart down or dropping your chin down. And then you're slowly going to just ease up, lifting ever so slightly to drop your hips back into a child's pose, dropping the head down to your mat, and then taking one arm at a time with you, bringing your arms alongside the body, giving them a little bit of a break, telling your shoulders how much you appreciate them. And then with your head connected to something, your forehead connected to your mat or your hands or even a block to bring the floor closer to you, rock your head from left to right. Great job. Slowly reach one arm forward, followed by the other. Bring yourself back up into that tabletop position. Good. From here, we're going to take the right foot and step it forward in between the hands, coming into a low lunge position. Tuck your back toes under and then inch that left knee back. So you're more on top of the kneecap rather than on the center of the kneecap. And then when you're ready, you're just going to walk your hands up to your right thigh. We're going to hold it here for a few breaths, and we're focusing on the front of the left hip, opening it up. And we're going to knit the ribs together, pull that belly in towards the spine. Reach your left arm to the sky. Good. When you reach your left arm to the sky, let's start to lean over to the right. Beautiful stretch for your side body here. You can release your right hand down to the floor if you can reach. You can also bring a block to the floor and then place your hand on top of the block so the earth is a little bit closer to you. Good. Come back up to center, reach both arms to the sky, and then take your hands back down to the mat. Now, I'm going to invite you, if you do have blocks, to bring those onto your mat now, and one underneath each hand, and then walk back with your blocks as you straighten the right leg. So if the hamstrings are really tight, the blocks are going to be a glorious addition. If you're like, no, Sam, we don't need the blocks today, then no problem. Just move them off your mat. Listen to your body. You're going to add a gentle pulse here. Heel is down into the floor, but you're feeling this beautiful stretch back in towards the hips. Good. Now we're going to walk the hands forward with or without the blocks. Drop the hips, lift up the heart. And then exhale, walk your hands back, straightening the leg, dropping the hips back to your left heel. Walk forward, lift up the heart. Exhale, walk it back. Really nice. One more time. Come forward, lift the heart. Great job, yogis. Exhale, take it back. We're going to hold it here. Maybe this time you hover your hips over your heel. And then if you'd like to take it deeper, you can take that left hand and cross it to the outside of the right foot. And then take an inhale, and on your exhale, twist the torso to the right side of the mat. Good. Gently release if you have that twist. And walk yourself forward. And then from here, we're going to heel toe that right foot over to the left side of the mat. Lower the knee down and then drop the hips down. I know it's super early for a pigeon pose if you practice yoga, but sometimes I like mixing it up to really see what our body's saying. Now, if for any reason your knee or your hip says, this is not the pose for me, then you're going to shift onto your back and take that right foot over the left knee. You'll do the exact same thing on the second side when we get there. So this is called thread the needle. So you can take the knee in or out. There's just no gravity here. So if you do like the gravity, you come back onto the front of the body and you walk down any amount, pausing at the forearms or maybe even just staying on your hands, which is a much deeper back bend. Good. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Good. At the end of your third breath, walk up to the hands and you're going to walk over towards the left if you are on your belly. If you are on your back, you are going to twist your legs to the right. Beautiful. And then come back through center. If you're on your back, switch your twist. If you are with me here in pigeon, you're going to walk your hands over to the right. Reach out through that left hand. Really invite lots of space. And then slowly come up, bring yourself up and back into a tabletop position. And then once you make it to your tabletop, you're going to let your hips fall all the way over towards the right side of your mat. Once you get there, you'll take a few breaths, maybe move forward and back, just bringing some fresh energy into that right hip. Come through center, move over to the left, just feel the difference. And then let's come back through center. Beautiful. Take an inhale, exhale. When you're ready, step your left foot forward and then inch that right leg back. Walking up onto the left knee. I'm just feeling nice and centered here in your low lunge. So taking a few breaths to feel the pelvic floor engage, Mula Bandha activated, keeping that energy moving upwards and into the body. Nice strong spine. We'll take the left or the right arm rather up and overhead, left hand down to the floor if you can reach, remember. And we're going to start to side bend over to the left. Beautiful. Again, you know you have the props there that you can meet to bring the earth closer to you. Keep the chest square to the short edge of your mat. Beautiful. Come all the way up. Take your hands down to your mat. Maybe call in your other prop or move them off to the side and then shift the hips back, straightening the left leg. Good. Feel it here for just a moment. Maybe close the eyes. Where do you feel this stretch on the left side? Good. And then starting to walk forward. Lift up the heart. Exhale. Walk it back, straightening the legs. Beautiful. Forward. Lift the heart. Take it back. Lower the heart. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more time with movement. Inhale forward. Exhale back. We're going to hold it here, maybe hovering the hips over that right heel. Option to take it deeper by taking that right hand outside of the left foot, twisting the torso to the left. Beautiful. Gently release your twist. Come forward with both hands. Heel toe that left foot all the way over to the right side of your mat or move onto your back, coming into your pigeon pose on the left side. Beautiful. Hands down in front of you. Make sure you're centered. And then walk yourself down any amount. Maybe if you're on your back, you pull the legs in. We prioritize our personal wellness. We prevent burnout. We decrease anxiety and stress and depression. And we do this through the use of our wellness practices, through our breath and through our yoga practice. So, whenever you can make time for yourself, it is going to be such a pivotal move in your calendar because without you healthy and well, nothing else will really exist. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Walk up onto your hands, tuck your back toes, and then transition into your tabletop position. From your tabletop, let's drop the hips all the way over towards the left side of the mat. Feel a little bit of a hover. And then when you're ready, come up through center and over to the right side. Awesome. Bring yourself back up to middle. And then we're going to step both feet forward to the front of our space. And then take an inhale, bringing your hands to the shins to lengthen the spine, straightening the backs of the legs. And then an exhale to bend the knees and forward fold. We're going to do that 2 more times. Hands to your shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. One more time with movement. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, release. Come all the way up. See the palms touch overhead. And then exhale, take your hands to your heart. Beautiful. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. And then we're going to come into a forward fold with our peace fingers wrapped in between our first and second toe, like where your flip-flop would go. So we're going to take an inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Good. Take a breath, lengthen your spine, hands to the shins. And now this time, take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toe so your fingers come underneath the toe and between your big toe and the mat. And then lengthen the spine. Good. As you exhale, bend the elbows and lower the heart and the head coming into your forward fold. From here, we take 3 deep breaths in and out of the nose. Beautiful. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms down. Step yourself back into a high plank position. And then lower your body all the way down to your mat. Once you come onto your belly, untuck your toes, press into the tops of your feet. Take a breath in to lift your heart. Take a breath out to lower the heart. Take your hands, tent the fingertips like you had a tennis ball underneath the palms of the hands, right in front of your shoulders. And then from here, take an inhale, start to peel the heart away, and then maybe you can lift up a little bit higher. Exhale, you lower down. Let's try this round, taking our stance a little bit wider, hands off your mat this time. Breathe in, lifting up through the heart. Good. Exhaling to lower down. Now you choose for the next 2 rounds where your hands will be. These 2 rounds are all yours. You have 3 variations to work with. And then any degree of back bend. Amazing. Let's take the right ear to the mat and your hands to your sacrum. Beautiful. Let the feet fall out towards the corners of your space. And just notice how the arms just want to fall down. See if you can resist. Keeping those hands right at the base of the spine. Switch ears, left ear to your mat. Beautiful. Come back through center. Take your chin to your mat now. You have the option to keep your hands exactly as they are, or you can interlace your fingertips and stretch the arms back as the shoulder blades draw towards your spine. With your next breath in, you'll press into the tops of the feet and the pubic bone and try to peel the heart away. Nice and strong here. We hold for 3 breaths, completely opening up our hearts. Amazing. Softly lower yourself down. Take your right ear to your mat. This time, let the arms fall down onto the earth. Beautiful. Switch ears, left ear to mat. Good. And then this time we're going to come back through center. Bring your chin to your mat. Feel yourself kind of get back into place, into alignment. Let's lift up one leg, lengthen out. And then lift up the other leg, lengthen out. And now press into the tops of the feet. Hands can come underneath your shoulders. Take an inhale, a lift up into your Cobra Pose, and then hover the palms over your mat. Breathing in here for 3, 2, 1. We stay, reach the arms back. 2, lift up a little higher for 1. Amazing. Lower yourself down. Take your right arm in front of you, use it as a kickstand, and then we're going to take the left arm back to find the ankle or the shin, whatever you reach. And here we're going to press the right foot down into the mat and then press the left hip down into the mat and draw that left heel as close to your glutes as you can. Next breath, we'll release. Switch sides, right arm back and around. Pressing into left foot, right hip. And then bring that right heel as close to the glutes as you can on this side. Beautiful. Softly release. Now, if that felt okay in your body and you feel like you can bend both knees in towards your body, that's where we're going to go next, coming into our bow pose. If you're like, not today, Sam, it's all good, no problem. What you're going to do is you're going to come into your Sphinx pose. So that means elbows will be underneath the shoulders, palms will be flat, middle fingers are in line with your elbow. And you're going to push down and try to pull your heart forward. That's going to help you with the extension you need in the spine. And then, if you are ready to go a little deeper, we're going to bend both knees, reach both hands back for the ankles, flex the feet. So it's like we're hooking our hands into place. And then as you inhale, you're going to kick your hands back and then lift your heart up. It doesn't matter the depth of the pose. Feel into the body, close the eyes, take 3 breaths. Beautiful. Wherever you are, Sphinx or bow, come all the way down to the mat. Sigh it out. And then from here, you're just going to shimmy and make your way onto your back. Once you come onto your back body, we're just going to take a second, shimmy, get there, and then bring your feet flat to your mats. Rock the legs left to right. When you're ready, you're going to let the legs fall to the left, keeping them there. Staggered is totally fine. Open your arms out into a T or bend at the elbows for cactus arms. Maybe look to your right elbow or hand. Such a beautiful stretch for your diaphragm and for your intercostal muscles. A beautiful practice for your spine and for your mind. Next inhale, come through center. And then exhale over to the other side. Once the legs fall and they are in their place, move the head. Good. Come back to center. And then make sure the spine is straight as you extend the legs. And we're going to start with the upper body. So I want you to reach your arms overhead as well. Then we're going to pick up everything from the waistline up to your fingertips, and we're going to move it over to the left side of your mat. And then we're going to move the left leg first, and then the right leg. But the goal here for the pelvis is to keep it level and grounded. So if that right hip picks up, you've gone too far. Beautiful. Once you're here, you can cross a leg inside, outside, or you can just leave the legs as they are. You can even take your left hand to the right wrist and lengthen out that way. We're going to call this pose Banana Asana because we're in the shape of a banana. And this posture targets the side of your body. It helps the spine move laterally, side to side, and it gets into all of those intercostal muscles in between the ribs, helping our lungs, helping our diaphragm, and helping our whole respiratory system. Take 3 more breaths here. Good. Once you've taken your 3rd breath, you're going to uncross the ankles, release the wrists, bend your elbows, and then one leg at a time, you'll come back to center. And then once you're there, you can pick up the upper body, move back to center. If you need any movement in between sides, go ahead and add it in here. And then when you're ready, we're going to pick up and move over to the other side. So reaching the arms overhead, and then this time shimmying over to the right side of the mat. And then the legs will follow. Right leg followed by left leg, keeping the pelvis centered. Maybe reaching for the left wrist, maybe crossing an ankle, inside or outside, or just leaving the legs straight. Breathing into the left side body. Last 2 breaths. Great job, yogis. Gently bring yourself back to center, however you'd like to get there. And then once you're there, we're going to lift the hips up, lower them back down, and then softly invite your knees into your chest. Bring your nose to your knees, wrap your arms around your legs. Send yourself all the gratitude for making this time for yourself, for carving out space in your calendar for your personal practice. Good. We're going to end with legs up the wall. So if you have a real wall and you would like to practice against the wall, you're just going to shimmy yourself so that your legs move up the wall. If you don't have a wall handy, you can practice this floating in the middle of your mats, just lifting the legs up towards the sky. You can even add a prop underneath your sacrum. Especially if you are just free form in the middle of your mats. And if you have a couch near you, you can do this exact same pose, and then the couch will just run likely from your hips to your knees, and then you're just responsible for keeping the knees to the ankles in the air. So now you have options. This is going to be our closing posture. This is our resting pose today. Legs up the wall is a beautiful pose to invoke relaxation, to help with any digestive discomfort. This connects with our gastric veins and then all of those diaphragmatic arteries and veins. It connects you like a highway to your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, where you can rest, where you can digest, where you can just mellow out. If you start to feel tingles in your toes, it's completely natural and normal as the blood rushes away from your extremities. So let yourself just feel and be in the moment. Hands can come to the body or alongside the body, and the eyes can be softly closed, knowing that when the moment is right, I will bring you back. Now you can practice this legs up the wall posture for up to 12 minutes. And if you are not quite ready to leave yet, I don't blame you. You stay as long as you need to. Set your timer for another 7 or 8 minutes. But if you are ready to seal your practice, one by one, you are going to bend your knees. Take it slow. There is no rush. Once the knees are bent, you're going to deliver one foot followed by the other to the mat. If you are free form, if you are against the wall, you're just going to hug your knees into the chest. And then, no matter where you are, you're going to remove any props, gently roll to one side, and press yourself up to a seated position. Once you are in your seated position, we will seal our time together. We'll take one more breath together with an inhale as we reach up, gathering energy, and an exhale to pull it all into your heart. I thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Be well, go in peace,